your eyes in the morning sun. I feel you touch me in the pouring rain. And the
Hey everybody, it's Robin Curian. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Run It With Robin. Today we are heading uptown to the Apollo Theater for Van Jones's We Rise tour. Now, for those of you who might not know who Van Jones is, I'm gonna just school you in a little bit. First of all, he's not only a lawyer, but he's also the founder of Dream Corp, which is a nonprofit organization, and he's also a CNN commentator. Basically, this tour is all about positivity. Since the November elections, people have been really bitter, they've lost hope, and he wants to bring positivity back. Let's go uptown, let's check it out, and let's see what this is all about.
Love is the key, love is the answer, love is the solution, and that's how we're gonna survive in this world, by all of us coming together with love. If you notice, anything that ever happens that we not with, we come together with love, and it's the most powerful thing in the world. So everybody put your hands in the sky for Team Love.
Now, if there's any reason any of you don't know why you're here for the incredible guy named Van Jones. Look at the video screen.
We are going to turn this breakdown in our democracy, this breakdown in our community, into a real breakthrough. We're going to look back on all of this pain and suffering. It's going to make our movement stronger. It's going to force us to reach deeper. It's going to force us to find friends and allies and resources we didn't know that we had. It's going to force us to actually start living out our own dreams.
My mom told me when I was going into the Senate, boy, don't forget what got you here. Don't forget where you came from. Don't forget that the title doesn't make the man's got to make the title. I am not going to let the darkness of this world turn me dark. Hope is the active conviction that you have to, with an indomitable will, generate within yourself every single day, the determination that despair will never have the last word.
If you want to be a leader of a protest movement, you have to get grants and permission. You didn't do that.
Crowdfunding.
Right, crowdfunding. Then, if you actually get a movement going, you're supposed to dominate it yourself, and you didn't. You shared. And now, in an age where all politics is a politics of accusation and casting blame, you're taking a stand for a politics of confession and taking responsibility. Why?
That's leadership.
I wake up every single day doing what I love, and I am prepared to die for it. This is what I was actually brought on this earth to do. And I go into the prisons of El Salvador, and I go into prisons of New York and California, and I work in some of the most dangerous spaces. So yes, the Women's March got us to a different level of visibility, but we also marched from New York City to DC around police brutality to bring awareness to it. So I'm constantly gonna speak up, and I just wanna, again, it has to be grounded in love.
We need to start with the fact that we are all human beings, that we all deserve not just human rights, but also dignity, respect, inherently, because we're human beings. That's part of love.
Help us understand how it is that we find the resilience and the strength to go on despite a Donald Trump or anybody else.
People died fighting Wallace, fighting Lester Maddox, fighting for the right to vote. They had to march on Washington. They had to come to Washington in the back of buses. They couldn't even ride the front of the bus. 64 was the Civil Rights Act. They went to 63. They couldn't stop and buy a cup of coffee because the restaurant wouldn't sell them a cup of coffee. They had to sleep on the side of the road because there wasn't a motel to give them a room. And we gonna complain now?
Come on.
About some tweets. About some tweets.
About some tweets, and we flying first class and can't come there? Look at how far they had to go. And we have much more to work with. They didn't have social media, they didn't have cable TV, they turned the country upside down. A lot of people got comfortable with Barack Obama and said we're in a post-racial generation, we can lay back now. Why shopping them out there with Trayvon and all? We got a new day. Well, now Trump has ripped the veil off your comfort. And he's in your face saying, I'm going to take away voting rights, I'm going to not commute sentences, I'm going to criminalize this and criminalize that. It is our opportunity to finish the journey with a guy that will fight us. And if we could beat Southern guys that were entrenched, we could beat Donald Trump.
We are very good at describing what we are against and presenting ourselves as victims of oppression, and that's a part of the truth. But when you create a movement that is an anti-racist, anti-sexist, anti-homophobia, anti-poverty, anti-pollution, anti, you become so good at defining what you are against that what you are against now defines you.
Words and the work of the speakers tonight is to fight for kids, not just my kids, but the kids for the future. And the difference between the American dream and the American nightmare is you.
Okay guys, I didn't introduce my friend Anita in the beginning, but she came with me. What did you think, girl?
It was amazing. I mean, it was full of like jam-packed with like really impactful speakers that really inspired us to feel like no matter where we are in our position in life or what we're doing, like we have an ability to be a part of the engine of change.
I feel empowered. You know, I think, to Van's point, a lot of us are very much focused on the wrong things. And it's easy, like God, Trump is the whipping boy for so many people's problems. Large, small, imaginary, or real, and make no mistake, he is a problem. But how people are taking him in and are making themselves small and victimizing themselves by comparison to what he's doing, to what the party is doing, to what both parties are doing, quite honestly, is way more detrimental. So to walk out of something like this and feel like you have some level amount of control over something is really important.
Trump is almost too American to be president. We need someone like him because the Million Woman March would have never happened if Hillary became president. We needed someone like him to ignite the people and to re-empower them to know that they are the ones who are running things instead of the government.
It's actually a true honor and privilege to be on stage with Van, somebody who I've known since I was 19 years old and who led the way and actually paved the way for people like myself to get involved in activism at a very early age. But to actually sit there and him constantly bringing up how we need to be grounded in love in this time where there's so much hate in our country, where there's so much divisiveness, even in our own movement sometimes. I feel like I'm leading with a new commitment to leading with love and centering that in every decision that I make.